Hi, I'm Ethan. I love muzzleloading. Today we've got another hunting episode to line up with the American hunting seasons going on right now. We're talking with Blake Bates about his first successful black bear hunt in the mountains of Arkansas. He's using a side lock percussion muzzleloader here, and I just like to thank Blake for coming on and sharing his story with us. Let's jump right into it.
My name's Blake Bates. I live here in Arkansas, Charleston, Arkansas to be exact. We've been muzzleloading hunting here. It's over now, but
Did you guys have an early season there then?
well, it's just one season. We just have one season, and I think it's like a week, maybe 2 weeks long. I don't know the exact dates on it, but
The hunt that we're really talking about, I think, here is your black bear hunt. So is that muzzleloader season exclusively for bears, or does it go into other game as well?
no, it goes into whitetail deer, and black bear is just kind of a bonus tag.
Yeah.
The area that I was hunting don't have a quota on it. It's a different zone.
Okay.
The one up north has a quota put on them, but the zone I was hunting, they don't have a quota on there. So it's open all the way till I think the end of rifle season. I'm not exact on that, but I'm kind of new to it, you know, if it comes to black bear.
So how long have you been interested in muzzleloaders and then hunting with them?
So I've been interested in them since I was a little kid. My grandpa and my dad and them used to get together before muzzleloader camp, and they'd pour the old maxi balls and stuff for their muzzleloaders. It was just a big deal. I never got to go with them, you know, because that was more of their time. And then later on in life that I started getting to go. But I've been I don't know, I've been around muzzleloaders all my life. I just recently got really into muzzleloaders because I wanted my kids to start shooting and stuff. And we had the Arkansas Muzzleloader Association, and the kids, I got 4 kids. They love it. They all shoot. The wife shoots, and it's just a really fun experience. And I wanted to go back to kind of, I guess you call it primitive ways, you know, instead of the inlines of something. I'm not knocking them or nothing, but it's just more exciting for me.
Yeah, I think there's a certain challenge with it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Let's talk about the muzzleloader that you've got here in this picture. What were you using for this hunt? And then we'll kind of go to the day of the hunt and talk about your season some.
Yeah, that is a Thompson Center Greyhawk. It's a 50 caliber, and I used the old school Buffalo bullets through it. They're actually a Savage bullet because I knew there was bear in the area, and I wanted something with some extra punch, so I knew I had a lethal shot and kill with it. But yeah, I bought that thing at a pawn shop. I don't think they make those anymore. It's just a side lock.
Yeah. I was surprised to hear that it's a Thompson Center, because I've not seen, you know, a side lock Thompson Center in many years now. Yeah,
that's the first one I've seen. I picked it up at a pawn shop, and for a reasonable price. That's the beautiful thing about a muzzleloader. The used ones, you may have to work on them a little bit, but you can get them for a reasonable price, you know?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're definitely a good budget to get into it. Now, when you start talking about powder and caps and bullets, you know, it starts to add up. But
that's a whole different story. We're all struggling there.
Yeah. So what powder were you using in this? Were you using a substitute, or were you using real black powder?
No, real black powder. I was using GoX.
Nice.
Yeah, 2F. I used 90 grains, and that's a 225 grain bullet that I was shooting. And boy, it did the job.
Yeah, man. So what was it like planning for this hunt? Did you have to draw this tag, or was it just going out and purchase a license?
Just a license here in Arkansas. I've been a resident here my whole life, so it's just a deal. I've been hunting for, you know, since I killed my first deer with the bow at 11. And so it's been a while since I've been hunting, and that's the second bear I've seen in the wild here in the Arkansas mountains.
Wow.
So it took me a while to get onto it, but I've been hunting, you know, this whole time, but I never really put emphasis on the black bears. But I wanted something new. In the past, like 3 or 4 years, I've really started watching like Clay Newcomb's videos on YouTube and
Okay.
listen to his podcast and stuff like that. And he hunts here in Arkansas too. And started noticing the terrain and stuff that he hunts in. Well, where I'm hunting, the terrain looks identical. So I actually put up game cameras this year in the National Forest, which is legal to do here. And lo and behold, we have a low acorn crop, I guess you might as well say.
Okay.
And they burnt that off there, and I guess it killed the musky dime. So it's just left spotty white oak acorn trees around. And but yeah, it's definitely a good year for bears.
So were you said you had these cameras out. Were you kind of watching this bear for a long time and trying to figure out what its patterns were? Or was it just kind of a going out in the morning and finding them?
I guess I could go into it. We have a muzzleloader camp. All the guys go there in my family, and they've been doing that since, like I said, I was 11. I mean, they did it before then. So it's been just a tradition of our family to go to muzzleloader camp. And I love muzzleloaders. I'm talking like I have a bad addiction. I'm up to 20, which ain't a lot to some people, but
yeah, that's a fair amount, man.
Yeah, I got all the way to 1851 Saxton's rifle, which is a rare military gun. But anyways, yeah. So we went over there, and I put the cameras up probably a month before season, and didn't go check them. And a week before, I checked them, and man, I had quite a few deer. And I put 2 cameras out. Both cameras have bears on them. And my brother was actually with me too, and he put 2 cameras out, and he had 2 bears on his. So the bears were in there, for sure this year.
That's great. Wow.
Yeah.
So were you kind of just at your muzzleloader camp and got up? Could you walk me through the day that you brought him down a little bit?
Yeah, I'll just take you in the whole weekend. So I actually planned, all right, I planned my whole year on this hunt. I mean, this is what, I don't care if I kill a deer this year. I brought the tarp, to clean the bear. I brought my game cart, X-Acto knives, everything. My uncle's a taxidermy, so I kind of know what to bring to clean a bear, because he's taught me how to do that. Well, so we go out, me and my brother, and we hunt this one ridge way back in the mountains. We go about a mile to 3 miles back in there. And we went Saturday. We got there Friday, but we went Saturday morning, and it was about 9 o'clock. I ain't seen nothing. The wind was horrible. It was just swirling. Weather is great. It's just swirling where I was in this big, in the Ozark. Well, not the Ozarks, but the Ouachita National Forest. It's just got these big valleys that it's just mountain terrain. Well, it was a swirling bad wind. And then about 9 o'clock, my brother texted me and said, I just shot a bear. And I'm like, that's crazy, like so he ended up shooting a bear, and I quit hunting. I get to him and we get out. And that was Saturday morning. Saturday morning. That afternoon we went, and he seen a couple deer, and I didn't see nothing. And I got back to camp, and we had the camp stories going on and this and that. And I told myself, if that wind's not right, so Sunday morning is the next morning, because we only camp for that weekend. And I go out, it's a lot warmer that day. I had low expectations of seeing anything. The wind so I get out there before, right before daylight, get in the tree stand. The wind starts blowing exactly the wrong direction again. So I sat there till 8 o'clock, and I said, I can't take it no more. I said, I know this wind is messing me up, and I know there's animals in here because there's multiple pictures of them. Well, I wanted to see what's on top of the mountain. So I get down and I take off all my heavy clothes, and I'm just in it's just some brown like Carhartt pant and a t-shirt, because it's warm. I mean, it's like probably 60 something degrees, and if you go stalking, it's it's really easy to get hot in those mountains.
Mm-hmm.
So I climbed this mountain and I go up it, I don't know, probably a half mile. And I actually found some sign up there, but it's all kind of old, you know, and I've got recent pictures of this bear that was in there. Actually, a couple different cameras had different bears, but so I go up the mountain, I cross the ridge. Well, there's a real rock. It's like a dry run creek is what you'd call it. I mean, it's just a real rocky, but it looks like a creek bed, but it's on side of a mountain.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what you'd really call it, a rock slide or what, but so I'm just walking up the mountain to it. I finally get up to what I think's the top. I'm not 100% sure if that's the top. And I kind of quit running out of acorns and stuff. And I was like, well, I got to stay in the acorns to find the game. So because it's such a scarce year this year, we had an early frost.
Okay.
So I jump across. When I go across that rocky ridge, and I'm on top of the mountain over there and not seeing much. So I was like, well, I'm going to make my way back down the mountain to my other camera and at least check the card in it and see what's going there. You know, if there's still something there, I'll stay another day.
Yeah. Yeah. Trying to see what the opportunities are.
Yeah, exactly. So I start slipping down that mountain real quiet, you know, just going 20 yards, 50 yards, stopping and listening. I go a little ways down. I get about halfway down the mountain and on an old logging road, and I hear what I thought was a rock go plop, 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 you know, just kind of tumble around. I was like, all right, there's something in these woods, because it was dead quiet. I mean, it was just a light breeze, but there wasn't the right breeze to hunt that tree stand. Well, I noticed I'm on the same level as my tree stand was, and that whatever I heard, I thought was in that little dry creek area. Well, I'm walking down through there and I stop and I look to my left and I look to my right. And when I do, there's a bear standing probably 80 yards to the woods looking around. I was like, oh man. I mean, I just immediately said, thank you, God. At least I've seen a bear for what I'm hunting. I mean, it's that scarce to me, you know. I was just going crazy. I sat there for a couple minutes just looking at it, you know, just admiring it, you know. And so it kind of eases back down and goes a feeding, and that thing is coming pretty much my way. And I'm sitting there, you know, I'm shooting iron sights, you know, and I wanted to make this shot good. And I noticed there's a little dead cedar tree about 5-6 inches around. And I'm kind of start slipping towards this bear that's coming my way. The wind's perfect, you know, blowing right in my face. So I know she's not going to smell me. I get up there and lo and behold, I look up and that bear is sitting there just staring at me. And I'm like, how in the world? I ain't made a noise. I ain't went 5 yards, you know. So I just crouch down real slow. I crawl to that cedar tree. I come up on side that cedar tree and she's still just sitting there, and I got a perfect shot right at her, you know, chest right there. And I'm at that range. At this point in time, she's probably 60 yards from me. Well, I got on that cedar tree and I took a fine bead on her and let the old hammer fly, and then I didn't know what happened, you know.
You got that big cloud of smoke, yeah.
Yeah, that big cloud of smoke, and then it went out forward, and then the wind's blowing it back, so it's like extra hang time in that smoke, you know.
You're just sitting there, your heart's pounding, and
I'm talking. I can hear my heart in my ear, like my heart's in my ear. I can't hear nothing but my heart going thump, 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 thump. You know, I'm just going crazy, and so I quickly reload, and when I'm reloading, I'll look up there and I can see a black, a black edge of her, and I see her kind of go over because she's on this little finger that comes down the mountain. She's right on top of it, and I guess when I shot her, she didn't go in here. She just dropped right there. I didn't get a death moan or nothing. I mean, it's just that quick. Yeah, just real quick and humane shot. You know, it just.
This podcast is brought to you by THOR Bullets. THOR Bullets are a premium full-bore muzzleloader bullet designed specifically for modern inline rifles. THOR bullets do not require plastic sabots or belts to be fired, meaning less cleaning for you between shots. The patented copper base creates an airtight seal, giving you greater distance and accuracy. THOR's unique engineering allows the bullets to retain 95% of their weight upon impact, and the controlled expansion ensures large, easy-to-follow blood trails. THOR bullets are currently available in a 50 caliber version that is sized to your specific bore. THOR is also expanding into a new 45 caliber bullet designed for faster 1 in 24 and 1 in 22 twist inline rifles. For more information on these great bullets, visit www.thorbullets.com. We'd like to thank THOR Bullets for their sponsorship of this podcast.
I had my old Navy revolver with me, the 6-shooter, because you could carry another pistol with you for, a backup gun.
Okay, I was wondering about that.
Yeah, it's legal in Arkansas to carry one, but you can't just go hunting with. It has to be a certain grain bullet and a certain length barrel. You can't just go hunting with the revolver, by itself.
Right.
It's not legal, but you can use it for a backup. So I quickly reload my 50 caliber Thompson Center Greyhawk, and I'm flipping up through there, and I got the pistol on the side ready because I don't know, I don't know what's happened. I seen the edge of her, but I didn't know if she's still alive or not. So I go up the hill a little bit so I could look down on the bear, and as soon as I crest the hill, I could see her there. She wasn't moving or nothing, and I got up to her and poked her a couple times, and she was done for. What I seen is when I shot her, she just rolled a couple times down the hill. But yeah, it just tears of joy then. I mean, talking, it was just amazing. I mean, I waited, I guess you could say, 10 or 20 years for that moment, it was just an amazing deal. And then for my brother to get one too the same weekend, that's his first bear. And it was just a great weekend. Nobody killed a deer, just those 2 bear that weekend.
Well, it sounds like it was well worth it, and the bear memories will be plenty for sure.
Oh yeah, that's for sure.
So what was it like? What do you think about looking back on it? Was it everything that you'd hoped for?
It was everything I hoped for and more. I mean, because I didn't necessarily want, going into it, I wanted to spot and stalk a bear. Mm-hmm. I didn't want to shoot it out of a tree stand. That's just my idea of, Daniel Boone walking around.
Yeah.
he did that a lot, he never just spot and stalk, it was just amazing. It's everything I could have imagined. It was the picture perfect weekend for a bear hunt that I could imagine, but it was definitely, I just hope it happens again. That's all I can say.
Yeah. Now you're ready for the next one.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I hope so. Hopefully it'll be with my flintlock.
Oh yeah.
I hope to I'm trying to save my pennies to get a Kibler kit. Flintlock. That's what I really want. But
I love mine. I think listeners of the show will know. I am in love with my 40 caliber. I got the Southern Mountain Rifle.
Okay.
And I think at some point I'll have to build one of the Colonials, but I got to save my pennies, like you say.
Yeah. Those things, I guarantee you they're worth it, though. Those locks seem really fast just watching, and I've seen a couple at the Arkansas shoots we have, and they're just really quick. But yeah, I definitely love the primitive stuff. I make my own bows and stuff like that. And
man, that's awesome.
A little bit, and I enjoy that type of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds like you're a real true outdoorsman here.
Yeah, I like to think I am. I'm just like everybody else, have to work for a living, but I definitely it's one of my passions.
Man, that's great. So I'm in northern Indiana, so we don't have any bears. But I guess I have a couple questions. Like, do you know what it weighed? And then what do you do to get the bear out then?
Yes, it weighed 190 pounds.
Okay.
And I don't know her age yet, but I do know she only had 3 teeth, her canine, and 2 molars on one side of her jaw bone. I don't know. I don't know much about a bear. Like I said, this is my first one, but I'm going to say she's pretty old. She was a good one to take. She's definitely way past her prime. I mean, she's way, losing her teeth and stuff and like that. And then how we got her out, we just used game carts, and we have bicycles we hook up to them, and we just go down those logging roads and just bike them out.
Okay.
And it is
awesome.
chore. It's, man, I was sore for the next, it took me a week to get over all that. Yeah. We was definitely dragging our bones. That's for sure.
Man, that's so cool, dude. I saw how happy you looked in the pictures, but hearing the story makes it all the better. That's just great.
That was my number one Arkansas want to do on the to-do list, the top of the deal. Like Clay Newcomb said, it's like the sheep hunt of the South.
Okay, yeah.
That he quoted that he's a pretty cool feller.
I'll have to check him out. I'll have to admit I'm not too familiar with him.
He's the editor of Bear Magazine, Black Bear Magazine. Yeah. He's in with that meat eater.
Okay.
Geez, I can't think of his name. That's bad of me. But
Steve.
Steven Ranella.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Yeah.
The two of us together, we've got one working brain, I think.
I'm just as country as you can get. I mean, yeah, that's definitely, hunting's my stronghold. Books is not really.
Yeah, I can appreciate that.
Yeah.
So what's next then after this bear? Is it another bear, or you got something else planned for the hunting season?
You're only allowed one per season here in Arkansas.
Okay.
Yeah. So what's next now is to get, I guess I'm going to go after some deer in the mountains with deer, because muzzleloader season went out, but I can use a muzzleloader during the rifle season. So I don't think I'm going to take my rifle over there. I'm going to I want to get a good whitetail buck. It really, I got just a kit Thompson Center flintlock. I need to shoot it some more to get it dialed in to where I know when I put it on, it's going to hit where I aim.
Yeah.
It's about there. I just need to spend some more range time with it. But yeah, I hope to get a good whitetail deer and then get my kids. My boy killed his first buck with I have an inline that I inherited from my dad when he passed away. And I'll let the kids shoot that during deer hunting because, it's scoped and it's more ethical and easier for them to use.
Yeah. Well, that's great, though. You're getting them out and getting them started.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. My oldest boy, he killed his first deer with that same muzzleloader, and Hunter got his first buck with that muzzleloader. I just hope to get them. If they want to do it, that's fine, but I just want to get their foot in the door, kind of like when I was around my dad and them, that they would keep the tradition going,
Yeah.
We need more kids in it so we could keep it alive.
Yeah, I think it's really important to keep any time you can get a kid to spend outside and out in the woods, I think is fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm happy to hear that you're doing that.
Yeah.
Well, is there something else you'd like to talk about or say to anybody out there listening, anything you want to, pimp out or represent?
Yeah. I just want to tell everybody to, look around your states. I didn't even know my whole life, I didn't know we had a Arkansas Muzzleloading Association. There's the National Muzzleloader Association and stuff. I didn't know that even existed until, I guess, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Until I started listening to your podcast and different other stuff. And I'm like, wow, there's like other people like me, So, I just, if anybody's out there listening, to try to join up with those groups, it's definitely, you'll meet some of the best people you've ever met in your life. You make some really lifelong true friends.
Yeah.
With it.
And they know so much.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm talking knowledgeable. They'll get you and willing to help. That's a hard trait to find anymore. Somebody willing to help you out with something that seems like everything kind of slows down and everybody just has fun. It's just
Yeah, it's great.
really, really nice.
I mean, a lot of us are really blessed and fortunate to kind of grow up with muzzleloading, but I think
Sure.
the community itself is out there. If you didn't grow up in muzzleloading and you can find somebody
Yeah.
out there who is more experienced with it, they're going to take you right under their arm and show
Oh,
you how
yeah.
to do it. And
Yeah.
you won't skip a beat.
No, not at all. Yeah, not at all. But yeah, I guess I'd like to thank my uncle. He runs Benz's Taxidermy here in Arkansas, and he's gonna help get my bear stuffed and go from there and do that. But
Are you doing anything with the meat? Or are you cooking down the
Yes,
fat or anything?
actually, I did it.
Okay.
I come out with 35 pounds of meat, and which is exquisite to me. I'd rather have it over than whitetail deer any day. It's very good.
Okay.
20, and then I got 25 pounds of fat that I rendered down, and I got probably around 3 gallons of what they call bear grease.
Yep.
And it's my wife loves French fries and bear grease. I'm telling you what, and I don't blame her. But man, it's something else. It's just a different. It's a real clean taste. There's no gamey taste to it or anything.
I would have figured the opposite.
Yeah, I did too. I was kind of scared into it, and we made some hamburger helper there at the bear meat, and it was really good. And then we made burgers with it, and it's really good. So,
Man.
I don't know what a boar would taste like. I hate that mine was a sow, but being first bear, I just, from now on, I'll try to look, try to make the herd grow, But,
Yeah. Well, it sounds like you said, it was an older bear. It was a good one to
yes.
to take. So
Yeah, she was an older one, and yeah.
So you got a clean, ethical shot. There's no pain, no suffering, just puff and done.
I actually kind of got disappointed. I got her home, got her back to camp and started cleaning her. Well, I metal detect a lot for like Civil War relics and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I go to looking for the bullet because everything in this bear is sentimental to me now. Like I saved the bones. There's very little that I wasted. I've gotten most of everything. I can make stuff. I can scrimshaw on the bones and make knife handles out of them and do stuff like that. And but I was disappointed because I couldn't find my bullet because I never found an exit hole. Well, when I went to I process my own meat. I don't really take mine anywhere to do it because I don't know.
Because you're the real deal, man. That's why.
Yeah, I grew up. My dad, he showed us how to do it all, and then even my uncle showed us how to cape them out and all that, So the bear is literally ready to get out flesh, and which I'll do that pretty soon. And then ready for the tan. He will tan it and stuff. I'm not real good at tanning. I've done a few beavers, but not real good at it. But my bullet deal, when I was processing it, I found it, and it was lodged back in its left ham.
Really?
Back there. Yeah. It was just, I was like, it's complete. I was so excited. I have everything that I ever could ask for,
Yeah.
Praise to be God,
Yeah. Man, that's awesome. What did the bullet look like? Was it pretty flared out then?
Yes, it was like I said, it was a sabot. Of course, it wasn't traditional, patch and round ball. And but I wanted a for sure, good wound channel. So that's why I chose that.
Yeah, there's
and
a reason that we went
a,
into them.
At 100 yards, that gun shoots those things like a laser. I'm talking even iron sights. I'm talking that thing is just a tag driver. So, yes, it did. It mushroomed out probably twice the size. I didn't weigh it to see if it kept its weight retention, but it's right there. I guarantee it didn't lose 5 grains off of it. But yeah, it's the size of probably Oh, it might be close to a quarter. I mean, it really did its job.
Man, that's awesome.
It was a dream come true weekend for me. My next on the list is I want to kill a mule deer with my muzzleloader. And then the one, if I ever become a millionaire, I'm going to go after a moose. That's that's my number one with the muzzleloader.
I think that'd be something else, man. There's such a big animal.
No, just I have so much respect for those animals. You know, of course, all of the animals I do, but even those big moose, man, they're just beautiful.
Yeah, they seem kind of otherworldly at times.
Yeah, they're just beautiful. There's all there is to that. Sure,
you're well aware. Everybody's always arguing about, you know, how much powder you should use or what kind of bullet or anything. And I think it's great to show people what has worked and what has worked really well, like it has for you.
Yeah, exactly. It did its job. You know, I'm on more of accuracy than I am on how many grains of powder it is, but there's a fine line there too. You know, I don't shoot anything less than 65 grains for hunting wise, but I bumped this one up to 90 and it shot, I mean, just like I said, like a laser. 100, it kind of started getting a little it started spreading out a little more than I liked. So I was trying to go for the maximum and still keep my accuracy. And then that's how I judge, you know, on what I'm going to use for a game load based on what I'm after. But
do you have any advice for anybody out there that's, you know, looking to get into muzzleloader hunting or has been for a while without much success? What would you recommend?
Just getting out there and spending a lot of time, spend a lot of time with your muzzleloader, get to know it and get comfortable, you know, at a range you're comfortable with, and then go find you a hunting place at that range. And I usually try to keep, if I'm comfortable at 100 yards, I won't hunt a spot that I can see 300 yards in. You know, I think that's where a lot of people try to overshoot from what they're comfortable with and never get nothing, you know, and just to be ethical and make that good, clean shot.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And just look for somebody that's in it that, you know, you'll have to do some little searching because we're kind of few and far between, it seems like, but you'll definitely find a guy that, you know, if you're in Arkansas, look me up on Facebook and I'll give you all the help I can do and maybe give you the gun to go try to make it happen with. But
man, that's great. Yeah. I love to hear that.
I don't know if that kind of answers your question.
It does. Yeah, that was perfect, man. I really appreciate that because it's, you know, I don't hunt as much as I'd like. We just really got whitetail and I hunt a lot of squirrels.
That's what I'm about to start switching over to. I got a 32 caliber. I guess it's a Crockett. Yeah.
Okay. Is that from Traditions?
Yeah. Traditions Crockett. That thing's a tight driver too. I mean,
my Traditions Hawken is too. I can't believe how well it shoots.
Yes.
I mean,
that's the first one I bought new. Was that my wife actually got that for me, and that thing is just insanely. I just can't get over it.
Yeah. For being the entry level muzzleloader right now, they're just crazy. It's just I know with that gun, if I miss a shot, it's all on me. There's no excuses.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. That's a good thing to be.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love, like you say, the swiftness of that Kibler lock, but man, that Traditions, it's dead on. Yep.
That's something I'm trying to get into. I find myself getting into more is I'm wanting to get into flintlocks a little more, and I'm gonna hold out because I got that one, and then I'm gonna hold out till I can get enough money saved up to get me a Kibler kit and kind of do some engraving and stuff on it.
Yeah, man.
Hopefully, but yeah.
Well, maybe if you've been good this year, one will be under your tree.
That will be a surprise in itself, like seeing a bear in the Arkansas mountains on public land.
I'd like to thank Blake again for coming onto the show. It was kind of spur of the moment, reaching out to him, seeing if he wanted to talk about it and share his story. And it was great to connect with him here over the phone and hear him retell the tale and hear the passion in his voice. I mean, I mentioned it in the episode there, but Blake is a true modern outdoorsman. I think it's great to see him out here hunting with his family, continuing his own family traditions, continuing these muzzleloading traditions, and also passing them down to his kids. I think, that was kind of a little side note that he threw in the conversation, but that's really, I think, one of the most important things that I'm taking away from the conversation, that, Blake is an adamant muzzleloader. He loves muzzleloading, like he said there, and he's making sure that his kids are exposed to it too, to help carry on this great tradition. So I can't thank you, Blake, enough for coming onto the show, but more importantly, for carrying on this tradition and keeping it going with your family there and with your friends. To go along with the muzzleloader hunting seasons that are opening up, I Love Muzzleloading here. We're doing a muzzleloading giveaway each month. You can email us your muzzleloader hunting photos. At the end of the month, we're going to pick 3 winners out of 3 different classes. That's 1 winner per class, 1 out of the traditional class of sidelock pre-1900 muzzleloaders, the other being a modern muzzleloader. That's going to be 1985 and ahead, really, with kind of the modern inline muzzleloaders, and then a youth class, which is anybody really under the age of 18 that's out there hunting with their muzzleloader. So you can email those to us at ilovemuzzleloading@gmail.com, or you can tag us on social media and I'll enter you automatically in that drawing. I think there's something special about muzzleloaders and then hunting when we think about this connection to kind of our ancestors. I mean, muzzleloaders have been feeding people for hundreds of years now, and I think it's great to see, like I said, folks like Blake, folks like Katie that we've talked about, Eddie Davenport, out here continuing that tradition, not because they have to, but because they want to. You can very easily go out and get a modern rifle, shoot out to 300 yards with a scope, really no problem. But, there's something about muzzleloading that keeps bringing us back here, and I think that's really special. So if you're listening, you feel that same special feeling too. So I can't thank you enough for listening and for all the support. There have been a lot of really kind words sent our way here with the launch of I Love Muzzleloading this year, and I can't thank all of you enough for sharing your passion with me here about the world of muzzleloading. Whether you're into hunting, you're into building, you're into the artistry of them, you're into the modern stuff, I really appreciate all the passion that I see out there with muzzleloading. I'm Ethan, I Love Muzzleloading. If you want to learn about this or anything else related to muzzleloading, please visit ilovemuzzleloading.com. Thank you so much for listening. We'll catch you next time.